In this video, I'll discuss a list of strategies that are no longer effective for dropshipping in 2025. And for you who are a beginner, intermediate, or even if you've been in dropshipping for a while, you'll understand that these strategies can kill your business. I'm someone who has been working specifically with the internet for over 10 years. Since 2018, I have specialized in e-commerce with the dropshipping strategy, both national and international, and you can see on the screen some of my results in various operations. I don't just do international dropshipping, I do national dropshipping. I do dropshipping in Latin America. I sell through my traditional e-commerce, I sell through marketplaces. So I have a certain authority to be able to share these strategies with you. Because unfortunately in the market, there are several people who end up bringing shallow content that really won't add any value to you. I've already taught over 20 million people on this channel. I'm not trying to give myself a title, that's not my intention. Longtime followers are familiar with my work style and content delivery approach. However, I can't be modest about these numbers, results, and my internet experience as the facts speak for themselves. So sometimes a young guy comes along, one of those flashy Instagram kids, gets a certain result, makes a certain amount of money, and already thinks he has the right to teach, already thinks he's a specialist. I'm not discrediting that person's results or accomplishments, not at all. But there's no point in teaching something that worked a few years ago, and sometimes it might have even worked in this year, 2025, but that's not the rule. Sometimes there was an exception, a niche, a product. There are people who get it right with just one product, and that's all they do, feeding off of it. Oh, that product I made 100,000 reads, that product I made 500,000, that product I made 1 million reads, and they just feed off of that. Don't get attached to products or flashy guru talks. Focus on consistency. If you're getting into this business to make things happen, giving up quickly is not an option. It's not for you to just get one product right. That doesn't even make sense. But let's go. I'm going to share the strategies here and consequently also solutions for which path you should take when it comes to applying these strategies, because there will be a lot of strategies here that you can still apply just in a different way. So pay close attention to that. The first strategy I want to start with immediately is influencers. But what does that mean, Douglas? Yes, I recommend influencers, but not in the way that many people teach. Influencers can help sell, but the approach matters. Many people say that the best strategy is for you to hire an influencer with 1 million followers, 500,000 followers, 200,000 followers. Put your product there to sell and advertise it. Then you pay a significant amount for the service, this influencer, and it doesn't bring you the results you would like. Or sometimes it even brings some results, but it doesn't hit the target, or it just breaks even, which is in your case, that's not what you want. So I have already tested strategies with influencers, and the ones that worked best, especially the ones that will work for you in 2025, are hiring influencers, but focusing more on regional influencers from small towns. The guy you want to hire doesn't need to be a big influencer. Just having an Instagram account with 50,000 followers is enough. Then you'll check his engagement on stories, on the posts he makes, and on the reels he shares on his profile as well. And you see that the engagement is very high, even surpassing the 50,000 followers he has. I'll say it up front. Followers don't guarantee results or good audience engagement for an influencer. Many of those followers may have been purchased, if you catch my drift. Keep that under wraps though. So when you give a chance to smaller, more regional influencers, you might be really surprised by the results, and that's how I did it. The results truly astonished me. I'm not just saying this, I've already tried multiple influencer strategies for advertising products and services. Advertising with regional and smaller influencers having 50,000 to 100,000 followers works really well. And an extra strategy I want to share related to influencers is not just finding regional ones, but also offering the option of just sending the product to the influencer for free, you covering all the costs, and they make a post promoting the link to your store. You can make a partnership there, and you can also do it in a commission format. You send a free product to them, and for what they sell, you also give them a commission. You can create a discount coupon for that influencer so they can offer it to their followers, and that way you'll be able to track the sales that come from your e-commerce using that exclusive discount coupon you created for the influencer. And then you show them a report with how many sales were made and everything else, and in this case, you pay a commission. This is a strategy that, yes, works very well in 2025. And for you who have already advertised in some way like this, leave it in the comments section to add your thoughts. Creating content and helping others is crucial. It also benefits me as I enjoy learning from your comments. Next strategy that doesn't work anymore, and next strategy that doesn't work anymore in 2025, you start your campaigns on Facebook ads with just one creative. Stop doing that. When I started in 2018, really during all that period, 2018, 2019, 2020, you could advertise, run a simple campaign there with some simple targeting and just one or two creatives. Wow. It worked wonderfully well, but that's no longer the case.
Because
Today, the competition among advertisers on Facebook ads, for example, is much greater. So for you to stand out, you have to be different. You have to be authentic. So if you can expand your range of creatives, I'm talking specifically about creatives, and make a variation, not only of videos, but videos, images, carousel, you test several ways to sell that product you're
advertising, because
this audience that will be found by Facebook to buy your product might like specific ways of seeing the ad. Experienced marketers, particularly those well-versed in Facebook ads, are familiar with this common occurrence. Even if you test with 1 to 5 creatives, which is my recommendation, you should have an average of 4 to 5 creatives to test beforehand, or even as few as 2, it may not be enough. But nowadays, that doesn't work anymore. It has to be at least 4 to 5, at least. And then even if those tests go well, you start selling, wow, I've been selling here for 2 weeks. I've been selling here for a month. Just with these 3 creatives I found, the winning creatives, I tested 5 and now I have 3 winners here. Don't get stuck with just those creatives. Use the data and metrics you have from those creatives so you can create new creatives based on the ones that are already working. You don't need to change much, just a bit to expand your range.
possibilities, because
This will give you a huge competitive advantage over those who advertise on the internet.
especially in the dropshipping market where people get caught up in this chatter a lot,
Stuck in copying and pasting. I've even been to an in-person event where the speaker on stage told people to copy other people's structure. Do you have any idea what that is? Do you have any idea? That's why I got tired of digital market events as a whole. I'm pretty much not going anymore. Events or even accepting invitations to speak anymore, precisely because I know a lot about what goes on behind the scenes. I won't air any dirty laundry on my channel, as that's not my intention, and I know you don't want that either. But just by me being transparent about the things that happen in the market, you already get an idea. Now, the next point, which is one of the strategies that many people start with in order to really get results with dropshipping, is this idea of starting a business like this just as a side income. If you have that intention, don't enter this market. The competition is tough. And I'm not saying this to scare you or anything like that. Like I mentioned, you will learn how to stand out, not just by being on the battlefield and taking action, but also by learning from those who made it and those who are currently on the battlefield. Not only through my content, but also from several other YouTube creators. They will be your mentors along the way. Learn from those who really make things happen, but don't come in with that story of, oh, it's just a little extra income. Oh, I'm not going to put in much of my energy. Oh, I'm not going to give it much of my attention. Don't come in with that mindset, or you'll end up ruining everything. And I'm not telling you to quit your job, abandon everything, throw it all away, and dedicate yourself solely and exclusively to dropshipping. That's not what I'm trying to say. When you start seeing your first results, obviously that's going to be extra income. Obviously, I'm telling you not to go in with the mindset that is just going to be extra income. Because if you go in with that mindset, you won't give it the proper attention. You won't treat this as a real business. Because this is a business, so you're going to have the discipline to study, apply yourself, dedicate yourself, even if you don't have financial results. In other words, profit in your pocket. Yeah, in the beginning, it's tough. I completely understand that, as I was once a beginner too. When I started, I had no idea this could drastically change my life. But one thing that made a difference in my results was knowing that this was what I wanted for my life. All my experiences working with the internet today, especially creating content for my beloved YouTube channel. All of this was what I wanted for my life. I wanted to work with the internet. I wanted to make a living from the internet. Enjoy the freedom that a business like this provides in the lives of people who really study and apply themselves. So what do you have to do? Set it as a goal. I will dedicate myself, even without financial results, to study and apply myself for at least 6 months until I get my first results. I guarantee you, and I'm saying this here, showing my face on this channel to thousands and thousands of people, it's impossible for you not to make a single sale. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to study, dedicate yourself for 6 months, and not make a sale with at least some profit. I'm not saying you're going to get rich overnight. That's not it. Not in 6 months, that's not it. But it's impossible for you not to get results. And I can even risk saying it could take even less time. In 3 months, if you study and dedicate yourself with commitment and discipline, without distractions, it's impossible not to get results. For my longtime followers, especially those who have seen results, comment below if you agree with this. Another strategy that no longer works in 2025, which is disappointing since it was one of my favorite models, is, and I can admit here with complete transparency, that it's focusing only on a generic store. And don't get me wrong, I still believe that a generic store is the best way for a beginner to start. What I'm saying is that it doesn't work.
Anymore is
Beginners and intermediates often focus solely on the generic store, even when seeing results. Not expanding, not opening other branches within your dropshipping operation. I'll give you an example. Let's suppose you just started with your generic store. You put it there, you have several kitchen products, several home products, products for the bedroom, decoration. In other words, a generic store with various items for your home. And then you find there a type of audience, a type of product that works really well for you to sell, and you enjoy selling this type of product. I'll give you an example, niche of decoration. Even in a generic store, you are selling within a category in your store, decoration. So what happens? You start selling really well within this type of niche, within this type of audience that likes decoration. The best strategy, especially for you who are already having consistency,
would be to create
a new store, a new e-commerce, a new brand, just focused on the type of product of
decoration, because
I've always made it very clear that yes, a generic store is better for those who are just starting out because you can test a lot of different products in different niches and for different types of audiences. But once you start getting results,
identify which
to succeed, focus on a specific niche rather than running a generic store. It makes sense for you to simply create a new niche brand, especially because you already have experience selling to that specific type of audience with the information you have from traffic sources like Facebook ads, for example, the pixel data. So you have a lot of data, a lot of information, a lot of strategies to sell and succeed with your own brand in the decoration niche. Of course, this is just a hypothetical example I'm giving you here, and I say this because I always wanted to keep the store generic. I never created other branches of products or focused on the type of audience that brought the best results for the niche store, but I'm doing that more and more now. So yes, I do have generic stores, I work with generic stores, I profit from my generic stores, but I'm identifying different types of audiences, products I'm adapting to, niches I'm adapting to in order to create other branches within my business with new brands of niche stores. So I'm not saying here that you shouldn't have a generic store, but you shouldn't just stick with that generic store. Open up other spaces within your operation that can really surprise you. And by the way, I always like to point out that if you don't have your online store yet, if you don't have your e-commerce and want to set up and work with dropshipping using the Nuvum Shop platform, that's the platform I'm using. It's the platform that gives the most attention to the Brazilian audience who want to do dropshipping in Brazil. Not only that, it also works really well for people who have inventory. Even if you don't want to sell specifically in Brazil, you can use Nuvum Shop to set up your entire structure to sell in Latin America, Europe, and the United States. It doesn't matter, you can sell anywhere in the world, even setting up your structure here in Brazil. And obviously, I always talk to Nuvum Shop to provide you with discount coupons on the monthly fee. I'll leave the link in the description because I have a discount coupon for Nuvum Shop's monthly fee. Of course, there's a whole free trial period as well, so you can test out the platform. I've even made a step-by-step series on this channel about building a store using Nuvum Shop. So if you really want a platform that's intuitive, with templates, where you can truly be authentic in your own e-commerce, the Nuvum Shop platform will help you a lot. To create your online store for selling products with your own shipping, check the link in the description. The valuable information is always there. The next strategy that doesn't work anymore in this year, 2025, is the so-called winning product. Yeah, I know it's contradictory. I know I might come here and say things in a way that doesn't please everyone in the market, especially the people who are already getting results. But it's true. I'm not saying you won't find a winning product. That's not what this is about. But just focusing on a winning product doesn't even make sense. There are people who start in drop shipping, even some more experienced people getting results who only depend on winning products. And I'm not saying that winning products don't bring results. Of course they do. But how can you keep finding winning products every day, every week, every month to sell? We can't build our foundation, our e-commerce, our online store, our drop shipping structure just with winning products. It doesn't work. The winning product should definitely be part of your product research pipeline, but you shouldn't focus only on them because these are products that usually come up more during seasonal periods like Christmas, Easter, Children's Day, Father's Day, or sometimes they're products that are launched in a certain way with some technological element that helps solve a specific type of problem. In China itself, there are a lot of new things. There are fairs that bring these revolutionary products. But just think about trying to keep up with all the new things. Just imagine if you tried to stay on top of every innovation that happens. It's really hard. When you discover a revolutionary winning product, there are often many people already selling it. So sometimes if you miss out on catching the hype of that product by just a week, it already passes and you lose a good opportunity to sell a lot. Your foundation, your base has to be consistent, profitable products. You have to set up your profitable products list, This methodology is taught in my professional dropshipping school, an independent institution. For those who aren't students yet and want to learn more about my approach, there's always information in the description. So this profitable products list is nothing more than a list of products that will give you consistent profitability without causing you too many headaches. You invest there and get your return on the investment you're making in ads, whether it's on Facebook, Google, or TikTok. And this will actually feed your e-commerce, bringing in that cash flow and profitability. And in the middle of this period, in the middle of this time, during your process of mining new products, you will identify others, good products to keep complementing your TPL, but in the midst of all this, a great winning product may emerge. The idea is for you to always be on the lookout for new products, always testing new products in your store. And even if your table of profitable products has 5 products there, making 100 Rs profit per day from all 5, you can be sure you're on the right track. The strategy is to continually search and expand your profitable products list, your table of profitable products. The more, the better. And in the middle of these mining strategies, you'll find winning products that will give you a much bigger cash flow, a much bigger cash injection. Because these products sell really well when they're hyped and usually generate a very large volume of sales. Obviously, there are several other strategies that no longer work in dropshipping 2025, and I want to bring more and more of them. I really enjoyed creating this content for you, and I want your feedback. Do you want me to bring more strategies that no longer work? And even better, bring a topic here related to strategies that probably didn't work before but work nowadays. Or even strategies that used to be frowned upon by people, but if applied in smart ways, they can also be very productive and generate excellent sales results. Do you want me to bring content like this as well? Then leave your feedback in the comment section. Your feedback is very important. At the end of the video, you'll find 2 hand-picked videos I believe will greatly assist you, which were posted on this channel. So that's it. A big hug and bye-bye.